Hey, Alan here for Old English Outfitters. You know, law enforcement agencies from time to time replace their sidearm. They replace them usually because they've reached a certain period of time where they just make a judgment it's time to replace them. Customs and Border Patrol recently did that. They've been carrying a variation of an HK firearm, and they decided to get rid of that and go to something new. What did they go to? Well, they went to a good old standard. They went to Glock. And they specifically chose 3 Glock sidearms. All Generation 5 type guns. Generation 5 Model 26, Generation 5 Model 19, and no specific generation attached to it, but the G47. And you're saying, what the heck is a G47? Never heard of it. Well, it's a new model. Customs and Border Patrol picked it, and Glock has decided to move it out for the rest of us. The G47. And you're looking at it and you're saying, well, that sure looks a whole lot like a 17. Well, you're right. It should look like a 17 because it's the same length top and height bottom as a 17. But there's a couple of differences. And those couple differences permit a couple things that you can do with this that you can't do with a 17. First of all, standard 17s, unless they're MOS, are never optics ready. The G47 comes standard optics ready. To facilitate this, they put it's a polymer cover on it instead of a metal cover over the milled out cut for your optic platform. The other thing they've done on previous generations where they've had MOS guns, you get a package with several different optics mounting plates in it. Here you only get one. You can get other plates obviously for it, but they only give you one with the gun. The rest of the Gen 5 features that you see standard on the 5th generation, newest refinement of the Glock system, are on this. So you've got the DLC finish, you've got the radius slide, tweaked barrel to improve accuracy, back straps, no front finger grooves, flared magazine well, triggers a little better, single pin frame instead of a 2-pin frame, those sorts of things. But if you look closely at this, you'll notice that the front up here looks different. And it does look different because what we have is the frame length here is the same size as a Model 19. Not the height. The height is a 17. You get 3 17-round mags with this gun like you do with the other Gen 5 series guns, like you used to get with the 4s. But this length is the size of a 19, a 5th generation 19. So you end up with a little bit of an extension of the slide here past the end of the frame, which results in a shorter recoil spring and guide inside. If you look at the front of it, you've got, instead of having the recoil spring guide coming right out to the front, you've got this hole here, and they've wisely put a hole in the bottom. And if you're familiar with the 34s, 35s, those types of guns, you got the same thing. That's so you can change your front sight. This also lets you do something that old 1911 shooters are familiar with. You can press check it by squeezing it back from just underneath the barrel where the guide is, because you don't have anything stopping you there. So it'll let you press check it to check to make sure you've got a round chambered or not. So those are the 2 major changes between a standard 17 and 47. Standard optics ready, shorter recoil spring and guide, shorter top end of the frame. The interesting thing about that is that lets you take the frame of a G19 Gen 5 and put it on the slide of this gun because of the frame length. Lets you do that. So you end up with a shorter frame, like 19 size frame, but with the top end being longer. So it's sort of think of it as a reverse Model 45, G45, right? If you're familiar with the G45, and you could actually make this into a G45, if you take a 19 length slide, put it on top of this frame, you got a G45. So it enables a little modularity, if you will, to that. But this is going to be the standard pistol for the Customs and Border Patrol. And it's now available to us out here in the civilian market. And, of course, through Glock's Blue Label program, we should hopefully see these coming out for folks who are eligible for that. So we'll see how this all goes. It shoots like a 17. And if you've never shot a Glock, go try one. They are an absolutely excellent tool. They work really well. These days, if you're left-handed, not a big deal. The mag release on the 5th generation guns is reversible. And you've got a double-sided slide lock release, so all your controls can be set up for a left-hander, no problem. Nice pistol. Again, if you've never shot a Glock, go shoot one. They're very easy pistols to shoot. They're very controllable. They, as I think I've said before, some smart guy a long time ago said, Glocks have everything a fighting pistol needs and nothing that it doesn't. And that still applies here. So there it is, new and available for 2023, the G47 9mm from Glock. All right, well, that's what we have for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Alan for Olivish Outfitters.